Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to discuss about Rimuru's Elegant Escape. This video contains spoilers, so with due let's get continue. Rimuru's Elegant Escape Play 16. The course of education for the students who use magic had been decided. And right in time, those students came back, all worn out. About an hour had passed in real time, so it would have been quite a tough long run for the students who mainly use magic since they don't have much stamina to begin with. The magic users also need stamina, but this should be sufficient. Leaving the rest to the instructors, as we planned in the meeting, I turned to look towards the leading actors, the combat-type students. And then, run, run. Even in your dreams, you can't even win with Magnus and his party like that. The combat-type instructor Brown shouted passionately, as if he was a different person. Even the three other accompanying instructors also looked like they were having a hard time. Instructor Brown's last spurt was that blood-curdling. One of the instructors, Peter, even said, "Be Brown-sensei, that there's no need to be that intense from the start now," and acted as proxy for the students. However, such a remark from Instructor Peter too was thrown away easily. "Be quiet. If we're doing this to win. Shouldn't we make frantic efforts with that spirit? Am I wrong? If you're going to be like that, you're never going to get the reward from Rimuru Satoru-sensei. But still, this guy. Hasn't his objective changed? Moreover, wasn't he just about to casually call out my name? That is kinda worrying. Right, it seems I was in the wrong. Satoru-sensei is watching. We are not allowed to be lenient, you guys, get psyched up. That's right, Peter-sensei. We are in no position to be compromising. Now, you guys run as if your life depends on it. Yeah. It seems Instructor Peter was also the same. Why are the instructors being all serious? You're leaving the students behind. But, that's fine. That's fine, but, the students, did they get brainwashed over this past week or something? Their eyes fired up and they started running desperately. They ran at full speed, using all their remaining strength and even more perhaps. Using the optimum distribution of their energy and magic to reduce their exhaustion simultaneously. What is it that's stirring up these students this much? Don't tell me, they aren't aiming for the reward I talked about, are they? I could only pray that it was my imagination that made it look like they wanted the reward more than letting Magnus and the others have a piece of their mind. Until night came that day, they had been doing the long runs. As expected, everyone was completely exhausted. They were flat out empty of mana and couldn't even stand up properly. But after drinking the drink I made, with a hint of the restoration medicine mixed in, they were able to recover enough to at least walk. One shot for stamina. I didn't add taurine in it, but seems like the effect was amazing. Not only did it heal wounds, it also recovered their stamina. Satoru-san, this is... it's a drink I made with a secret recipe. I had the ingredients, so I prepared enough for everyone. I answered with a smile. It's a complete lie, but I can't really say that. I made it by mixing with the restoration medicine I had on me all this time, so I don't really have a choice. That reminds me, this is a bit late, but I am glad that the monsters can't lie thing has no effect on me. It's not like I like deceiving people or anything, but considering my personality and position, I am in situations where I can't say the truth a lot. No, it isn't really a lie either, is it? If you were to broadly interpret it, secret recipe, I had ingredients, or, I prepared for enough for everyone, all these aren't really lies. Just the, I had ingredients, part would be more accurate if I had said I had it in my imaginary space, so that might just be a bit strained. Well, that stuff doesn't really matter either way. The moment everyone recovered from their exhaustion after drinking the beverage I prepared, they realized that they were starving, as well. And it immediately became time for the leftover squad to prepare dinner. It seems the group in charge of cooking gave it their all, so the dishes this time around were satisfying, as well. I had the magic using students go through practical training of making containers using earth magic and tempering using combustion magic. As a result, everyone's tableware was also prepared. Although there are some which are oddly shaped, they have their own attractiveness. And like this, we were able to enjoy a good meal on the night of the 5th day as well. Now then, hunger has been satisfied, but it is about time their ability to think also recovered and they start to feel discontent. Satoru-sensei. There's something I would like to ask. Julius said and stood up. It seems he had some resistance in calling me sensei, but he appears to have suppressed his pride and acknowledged me as their teacher. A more honest guy than I had first thought. What is it? We didn't really do anything other than running today, but will we really be able to beat them like this? You stupid? Of course you won't get strong by just running. If you could win with just that, nobody would have to work hard. Wah. It seems my words offended him as he looked on the verge of losing it. We made them run all day long without letting them think. And on top of that, I just said something that could also be interpreted to mean that there's no point in running. In a manner of speaking, it is like saying that you wasted the entire day. Julius probably thinks he has been made fun of. However, one would understand it if they thought about it normally. There's no way they can get stronger just by running. That's just proof that they are shocked by many things and can't think straight. Inversely, it can also be said that by just running all day long today, they have regained their presence of mind. In other words, this was all to have us regain our calm, Satoru-kun. Well, it's fine if you take it that way. Also, call me sensei, Mondo. Yes. Understood, Satoru-sensei. I nodded. There's no need to add that it was all a revenge plan for getting back at Julius for his poor treatment towards me. After all, the other students would just think they just got mixed up in it. Besides, it seems everyone is content with that answer, so I will just go along with it. Now then, it seems like you guys were able to cool off your heads. Then let's start the strategy meeting. After the meal, we gathered around by a campfire to discuss strategy. Julius and Karma also seemed content with that explanation and didn't complain. It's weird for me to say this, but they are quite simple. Now then, let's start. First of all, let's talk about Magnus' strength. Is there anyone who realized the secret behind it? Everyone seemed agitated in response to my question. Not only the students, but also the instructors. Instructors as well, if you noticed something, please speak up. I also urged the instructors to talk about their observation. Is there anyone who has noticed? Now that I think about it, Magnus was a very excelling guy, but it didn't seem like he was hiding that amount of strength. Karma, who seemed to have been in good terms with him, muttered. I guess that's true. If someone has that amount of strength, a portion of it would show when they are taking the lessons. At the very least, even if the students didn't realize, the instructors would. If an instructor didn't even notice someone so strong, then they fail as an instructor. I don't want to make excuses, but I didn't think he would be that strong of a student. Rig, HT. It didn't seem like he was hiding his strength, more like he suddenly gained strength, or rather, it felt like he borrowed strength. Jita, a combat-type instructor of NNU, muttered. Heinrich, who had been observing the combat, agreed with him. As expected of researchers, they make good observations. Borrowed strength, you say? That makes it sound like. Sounds like element fusion. I cut off Sage William. And the place fell silent at once. And that's only natural too, since element fusion is using a superior elemental spirit, the final hidden technique for an elementalist. After all. That's right. It's truly what can be said to be the strongest technique known to mankind, only permitted to those who are worthy of being called hero. The only ones who can use this as a group are the strongest squad known to mankind, the Holy Knights. No, but there's no way a student can perform element fusion. The only ones who can probably do that are the legendary hero, ruler of the flames, or the new generation hero and his allies. Exactly. It's not something a mere student can pull off. The discussion turned vigorous at once after that. A display of denial rather than a discussion. However, we won't get anywhere if we were to discuss things here. After all, even the instructors don't really comprehend what actually is element fusion. Calm down. I will first explain what element fusion exactly is. The moment I said that, the noisy ones went silent at once. They all turned to me in unison. The instructor group's gaze were more piercing than the related students. If possible, maybe we can get close to that secret ourselves. It's clear that they were thinking as such. Well, that's fine too. After all, it's not something you would be able to use immediately even if you were to understand it. Element fusion is. And like that, I started my explanation. The most easy to comprehend example would be Shizu-san. She had fused with Ifrit and had transformed into a demon of flames. Although in Shizu-san's case, it was due to a unique skill called Deviate, so she might be an exception. It would be extremely difficult for a normal person to fuse that much with an elemental spirit. Ifrit, the superior flame spirit, possesses energy equal to a semi-demon lord class. Fusing with that is basically becoming as strong as a semi-demon lord class while being human. If I were to give that a human rank, then it would be an A+. S rank is given to demon lords, so that is the highest ranking. Anything above this can only be a hero. An existence completely opposite that of a demon lord. Those who can be said to be the strongest beings in humankind, also get the S rank. In fact, at this rank, it is also possible for a hero to fuse with the strongest elemental spirits, the light spirits. That's different from an awakened hero in sense. To awaken, one needs the hero's egg, and other factors also come into play, so that's more complicated. At the very least, I haven't heard about Kenya's hero's egg hatching. Although it does seem like he has acquired it. That blessing thing Ramirus was talking about was a ceremony to ascertain the adaptability percentage with the spirit. The ones who can make the spirit's strength their own and use it freely are the strongest of these practitioners. Now then, about the ones below that. Lower ranking holy knights would be a good example. They are the people who have become able to borrow a portion of the spirit's strength, who are compatible with them. The mysterious power these spirits possess. These people, despite being human, become able to utilize the power which has the same nature as magic. That might sound good at first, but taking in that kind of energy into one's body is extremely difficult. Or rather, it's impossible for your general public. And that's exactly why they train their bodies into a suited vessel, discipline their mental capabilities, and strengthen their spiritual body. It seems like the demon lord Rumen has optimized this and has already created a breeding ground for producing quite strong holy knights. However, even then, apart from a portion of the prodigies, others only can go as high as to borrow a portion of lower rank elemental spirits' strength. And that too comes with a time limit. They momentarily exceed human limits and overwhelm the enemy. That's one of the many techniques which make the holy knights the strongest knights. The strength of a spirit and the techniques of a human. That's the secret to the strength. Once you are able to completely use the strength of a higher ranking spirit and the strongest techniques devised by mankind, that's the hero level. Shizu-san fused using a skill, but she had reached this territory. The reason I won was only because I was lucky. To be completely frank, it was because my compatibility against her was good. When I inspected the fight later on, I was told that by the great sage. Say that earlier, or so I thought then, but I wouldn't want to hear something negative like that during a fight. And so it was all good as a result. Kenya and the others fused with the spirits at the soul level. Their bodies grew and got used to that power. Putting aside exceptions like Shizu-san and Kenya and the others. I kept on explaining these to them while keeping the concrete stuff hazy. Now then, it's about time. Let's change the topic here. I think you now properly understand that it is extremely difficult to freely handle a spirit's powers in a human's body. If so, then acquiring this strength in a human's body, in other words, being able to use this mysterious power, what must one do to be able to do this? I looked around at everyone listening to me while asking that question. Being asked a question suddenly, they were perplexed. However, there were those who were fast in catching up too. The way Satoru-sensei phrased that right now, not use the spirit's strength, but use the mysterious power. In other words, if it's a high-ranking being other than spirits, it might be easier to use even in a human's body. He came presenting a conjecture coming straight for the core. I smiled and said, as expected of the prodigy of Ingratia Synthesis Academy. That's quite some insight you have there, Julius-kun. Or is it that since the royalty of Ingratia Kingdom are well acquainted with spirits, it is only natural for you to know? Then, let me ask specifically. What do you think that is? Before I realized, Julius' noble-like attitude of looking down on me had disappeared. His anger probably disappeared too while he was listening to the explanation. It seems that he has acknowledged me as a teacher, no, maybe as something more. Julius looked hesitant to answer to my question. However, the answer was already in his mind. As if he didn't want to speak of it, he opened his mouth only to close it again. But then he drastically went ahead and said it. Demon. I deepened my smile and applauded. That's correct. Not angels, but demons. There's also a reason for that. As angels are pure, it is harder for them to exist in places other than the heaven. Although the situation has somewhat changed now. In the first place, demons were more suited for battle. Well, there are a few more reasons to it other than that. There are quite a few who can employ a demon. Most of them do it by a ritual summoning, but there are also some who summon demons with magic. First-class wizards, called the Dark Summoners. The limit for the employment is up to greater demons, but a human's body is enough for that. On top of this, if the vessel is trained, they can acquire extraordinary strength without training, like a holy knight. Moreover, if I were to add, there's an effective way to strengthen one's body. Surely there are people here from NNU Magic and Science Investigation Academy who know of it. As if the NNU students were nervous, they flinched. But no one answered. Armored Corps, one of the previous empire's 3 biggest army corps. The soldiers who were enlisted there seemed to have undergone black magic remodeling surgery and became super soldiers, but after I said that much, the instructors also realized. You don't mean black magic remodeling surgery is supposed to be forbidden due to inhumane methods? Besides, the surviving scientists are, don't tell me, those scientists are. No, even if it's so, it doesn't make sense. Even if black magic remodeling surgery can strengthen the body, it would only go as high as a rank at most. Heinrich declared. As expected of a researcher, he knows more than combat types. Exactly. Certainly, from the information I gathered, there are very few who have gone up to a rank. And that strength wouldn't come close to a semi-demon lord class. However, what's important here is strengthening the body. After I hinted that much, Heinrich also realized. I see, a demon only wants a strengthened body. If a demon dwells in a strengthened body, even if it's a greater demon, they might have the strength to beat a holy knight. And that, in other words, that's demon fusion. Well, that's about right. The strong being of this island, Poison Tiger, who has little combat experience, seemed crude considering it is a semi-demon lord class. In contrast, if Magnus, who has a ton of combat experience, were to acquire the strength of a demon, it wouldn't be weird even if he acquired strength exceeding that of Poison Tiger. Moreover, the chances of black magic remodeling surgery progressing in these past 10 years is quite high. There's probably no mistake in thinking that Irina, the researcher who seemed to be the mastermind behind this, is the leading person behind that research. Well, that's about pretty much it. With this, Magnus' strength should be easy to comprehend to a certain extent. Saying that, I brought the talk to a finish temporarily. Thank you for watching. Please do like, share and subscribe.